All right, Detroit Pistons finalized contract extension with Coach Dwayne Casey. Sources say, according to Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN.com. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Check out Detroit Piston Talk playlist for more videos like this. Don't forget, check out Piston Mike channel, Piston Mike right here on YouTube. But yeah, let's read it. Detroit Pistons are finalizing a contract extension for head coach Dwayne Casey. Sources told ESPN, excuse me. Man, it's that funny weather season. Casey has 2 years left on his original 5-year deal and will extend for one more season through the 2023-2024. Sources said through 20-50 record this season, marking the start of a franchise rebuild. Pistons general manager Troy Weaver has been enthusiastic over Casey and his coaching staff development of franchise young players, including first-round picks of League Bay Isaiah Stewart, and competitive force of undermanned roster. Sources said Weaver has been pleased with the leap that free agent Jeremy Grant has made, carrying the big offensive load in Detroit, and the progress shown young veteran reclamation project, including Josh Jackson and Frank Jackson. Casey is regarded as Detroit owner Tom Gores, who hired him 3 years ago after Casey's 7-season tenure with the Toronto ended. Casey is 64, 81 through 137 in 3 seasons with the Pistons, including the 41-41 record. His first year, he was the NBA Coach of the Year in 2017 with the Raptors. Casey had a 320-238 record during his time in Toronto, leading the Raptors to 2 trips to the Eastern Conference semifinals and a berth in the conference finals. Is that it? Is that it? Before I get to cook, damn. Victor Oladipo career over. I said he had a season-ending surgery. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with him. But yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's that bad. But what type of joker who has a 81 and 137 year record gets a contract extension? I mean, the Detroit teams are so backwards. But honestly, I don't like the way he coaches. I know people who don't like the way he coaches. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna shit on the black man getting an extension when we've seen plenty of other coaches from different ethnic backgrounds get extensions. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know what his input was with Tom Gores when they was, talking when they should have rebuilt when he first got here. That's why I say Ime Udoka was a better coach because he could have rebuilt and grew with a young team. So I don't know if he was saying like we can make this work. Any basketball novice would knew that it wouldn't have worked with Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. They set the franchise back 3 years. Think about it. Like they started rebuilding when he first got here, right? Obviously Stan Van Gundy set him back with the picks. But I think by now, had they done what they did right now in year one, the Pistons would probably be 2 years. I would say 2 years because they didn't have a draft pick. They would be 2 years ahead of the curve than they are now. But like I said before, they finally did what they were supposed to do, and that's tank. And, I think Dwayne Casey do deserve another year, honestly. I mean, because think about it. He got 2 more years left. Let's say they go ahead and get whoever they need next year. Then the year after that, I think they're still going to be bad next year. People don't want to keep 100. I think they're going to be bad next year again. I think they'll be in the top 10 again next year. And, one more year. I think Dwayne Casey his extension year, they start to make the playoffs. And if they don't, he get fired. And I just think it's not a bad thing from the guy to develop this guy here. He's climbing on my balcony on the basement. It's a wild. Now, if he fall, it's going to be a lot of slow slings and the fire bringing. But yeah, I'm not mad at it. I think I agree with it. Whoever idea, if it wasn't Dwayne Casey idea to rebuild, or he was just saying like, they said, we want to just see what we got. And Dwayne Casey just went to flow. Honestly, I think the first 2 years is really exempt from counting against him because they wasn't going to win. And really, you can count this year as well, too, because the first 2 years, he dealt with Blake Griffin when any smart GM would have traded Blake Griffin and got rid of Andre Drummond the first year, or the second year, Blake first full year, they would have traded him, got rid of him and Blake Griffin. They would have, think about it, had they got rid of Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond year 2, think about it, you would have still had to cut Reggie Jackson and waive him. They would have got rid of him year 2. Do you think about this year, his third year? What's the year 1? I can't remember. I think year 2. Think about his third year. They would have had picks to rebuild. Think about it. They probably would have had another pick in the lottery, without having to trade, Luke Kennard. You could have still traded Luke Kennard. But it made more sense to trade Blake Griffin his second year, I think it was, coach of the team. Or whatever year it was, his first or second year. It made more sense to trade Blake Griffin. You feel me? And Andre Drummond. And, obviously the franchise ain't been too smart, Tom Gores is just a go with the flow guy, but obviously, everybody knew they should have, traded Drummond and Blake Griffin. You had some people on YouTube, some people at the Piston channel crying, you're getting mad at people because they have an opinion. Do you understand? People get mad on YouTube because you have an opinion on your channel. It's called YouTube. It's your TV channel, and a lot of people get mad because you have an opinion and they want to go at you. But at the same time, those people don't know shit about basketball. All right, and y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Niggas crying, oh no, Drummond shouldn't be traded, and shut the fuck up. You don't know nothing about basketball. Him and Blake should have been traded the year Blake made all NBA third team. They would have had picks. They would have had assets. This team would have been ahead of the curve, but it's okay because think about it. Got Killian this year, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart. So you got 3 draft picks this year, which you made up a little bit. So next year it's all about finding them a guy who can create their own shot or a unicorn like Evan Mobley. But yeah, I agree with Dwayne Casey. At first I was like, nah, he shouldn't get it. But now I agree with it from the simple fact that that he can grow with this team, and eventually it's going to be a Rick Carlisle type of Larry Brown trying to hand off. So, why not let him build a young team, then get him out of here, then get a baton to somebody that they know exactly what they're doing. So, I think it was a good move by the Pistons. Lock him up for 1 year. It wasn't like they gave him a 3 or 4 year extension. And now he can hand the baton off to another coach because he's proven that he's not a guy to get a team over the hump. Now it's time to get the baton off to a Nick Nurse or, the next guy. Even though he didn't have Kawhi Leonard, I think that's not fair. But yeah, I think it was the right thing to do. And, because you don't want a situation where you hand the thing off to another coach. Because one thing about it, it's not an attractive job right now. But if you add an Evan Mobley, you add a Jalen Green, all right, they start to gel. They start to make the playoffs late, right, or in his third year. Then it becomes an attractive job. Then you can get a see who any good coaches today. A Doc Rivers. Then you can get a Jesus. There's not too many good coaches today. Somebody getting cussed out. But now you can find another coach. I just can't think of any great coaches today. Jesus, it ain't no great coaches today because you really think Doc Rivers. Shit, ain't that crazy? It ain't like we had Pat Riley, Red Auerbach, and eventually you had Chuck Daly and Lenny Wilkins, and you had some good coaches, bro. But right now it's kind of the NBA in the transition mode. So you got a lot of coaches that don't know how to coach. That's coaching to shooting threes today when you should be coaching to beat the spread shot shooting three. Kind of scheme they doing today. But I think it's a good job. I think you hired Dwayne. You keep Dwayne Casey. And then you hand the baton off to Larry Brown. But a lot of people don't understand the difference between Rick Carlisle and Larry Brown. The biggest difference was that Larry Brown had his players on the pitch count. He had his players, the Pistons would be on a 20-0 run, a 10-0 run, and then he would sub out Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, and, that was the biggest difference, that he had his team on the pitch count, and the Pistons were fresher to make a deep playoff run under Larry Brown. But obviously the biggest difference between Larry Brown and not winning the second championship is really not drafting Carmelo Anthony and eventually Ben Wallace leaving. But, I like Dwayne Casey getting this extension. And eventually he'll have to hand the baton off to somebody else that can get the team over the hump if they get that far. But let me know what you guys think. Check the Detroit Pistons Talk playlist out. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All my links in the description. Fast way to reach me is Twitter. If you want to advertise your business on the channel, video request to chop it up. Links there. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link there as well too. Appreciate the love and support. One time for the one time. Mercy Sports Talk. Let me know in the comment section. Peace. All right, all my Detroit Piston fans and all my Detroit fans, all my Motor City Sports Talk fans, make sure you guys go check out Piston Mike. We got him over 100 followers. So make sure you check him out. Everything Pistons, man. He gonna hold it down and do his thing just strictly on the Pistons thing. I got the Lions and Pistons, but man, we always trying to help people get their channel up. Let's get them to 200 next, 300 next, 400 next, 500 next, and let's get them all the way to a rack so you can start making that bag. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you go over to Piston Mike as you see it on the screen. Let's get them to 200, then 300, then 400, then 500, and the whole shebang. Peace.